Adam, after the game yesterday, Blake Wheeler said that there are a few things that you guys wanted to do better against Ottawa. Which of those things did you feel that you guys did the best against the Sens that helped you come back to win in overtime?
Well, I think if you look at the difference from the Toronto game to the game last night, just our puck support breaking out as a unit, kind of coming through the zone with speed. I think in the Toronto game we turned back quite a bit. We kind of slowed the game down. We got really spread out. Didn't give our guys with the puck a lot of options. I think you saw last night, play would break down. We'd have a couple of guys around it to kind of stop it and not really allow them to generate those transition chances, and just allowed us to get through the neutral zone a little cleaner, a little faster, a little sharper. I think that was a big one.
Go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go.
Thanks, Gregor. Afternoon, Adam. You guys, even last year, often preach staying in the fight, comfortable being uncomfortable. But you certainly seem to back up those words with action, because you guys, whether you're down a goal or two or down early, never seem to panic. What is it that I guess leads to that resiliency or that confidence that you guys are always in a game, no matter what the scoreboard is?
Yeah, I think it's just the belief in our ability in our room. I think we have a lot of guys that can score goals, and we never really feel like we're out of a game. I think it's going to be something we want to get better at. You obviously are playing with fire when you spot teams 2-goal leads and get down early in games and constantly have to come from behind. But I think we look at the guys we have and their ability to put the puck in the net, and on any given night it could be a different guy. You look at the start KC's had, Patty in game one, Shife, Wheels, and Nicky. You kind of just go down the list, and there's a number of guys that can hurt you and are super dangerous offensively. And I think that's one of those things that if we stay with our game and we kind of get back to what we're good at, we can kind of start to dictate the play and create some chances, and find ways to score goals. And that's what we've been able to do in a couple of our games so far.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Adam. How would you describe your line's play through the first few games, and how nice is it to be rewarded for the play with the goal?
Yeah, it's always nice to chip in offensively. I think we've had some good shifts, and then there's been some shifts where we would like to do better. I think coming into the season without any exhibition games, your timing is going to be a little off. I think the way we're successful, we're hard on the forecheck. We don't really allow the team to create any easy passes exiting the zone, and we want to play with the puck below the goal line. And I think last night was our line's kind of best game, and I think we've been building consistently, and so that's something we're going to look to continue to improve on, and generate more zone time in the other team's end, and less time in our end, and hopefully continue to be able to contribute.
I'll go back to Mike McIntyre. Go ahead, Mike.
Adam, I want to ask you a non-hockey related question, but just being on this first road trip of the year under the new protocols in place, can you just give us some insight as to what it's been like? Obviously, you can't do some of the things you guys might normally be doing as a team, whether that's going to a restaurant, but can you just maybe take us through what these first few days on the road have been like, and maybe are there ways that you're finding to try and still stay connected kind of off the ice?
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things is you kind of do a lot of team bonding on the road, whether you're going to dinner with 5 or 6 guys normally, and now, we're pretty much confined to the hotel. So, obviously we understand the protocols and why they're in place, and, we're doing the best we can to follow the rules. I think, it allows for a little more rest, a little more recovery, being able to kind of stay in the one place. We were able to watch the Kings game after, our game last night, with a bunch of guys, spaced out in a room and different things like that. It's kind of still finding ways to be around each other, even, if it's not in the normal circumstance where you'd be hanging out. I think, that's one of the things. And then, spending a little more time in your hotel room, it gives you some time to catch up on some reading, some shows, and things like that. So, it's been a little different. I think we got a taste of it being in the bubble and what it was going to be like, kind of getting used to, just traveling to the rink and the hotel and things like that. But if the hotels have done a great job, allowing us space where, there's rooms where we can get together safely, our meal rooms have been great and things like that. So, we've kind of found ways to still stay connected as a team.
Just time for a couple more, so we'll go next to Paul Edmonds from Jets Radio. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Adam, thanks a lot for taking the time. Good to talk to you again. Your line seems to feed other lines when things need to get going all the time. So there's some fluctuation with personnel on your line. How important is it for you to be the constant presence on that line, regardless of who you're playing with? And do you feel that it's incumbent on you to help whoever is beside you to have that consistency?
I think you look at the role Hopper plays on our team, and I had to come to terms with that. There's instances where I lose him in a game or I lose him for an extended period of time, and he's such a versatile player, and it seems whatever line he goes on, he makes such a positive impact. You look at the pass he had, over time, kind of the spark he was able to generate last night for us, and playing with Appy and kind of whoever seems to kind of come in on the wing, whether it's Harks or whether it's Frenchie. And, I look at it, kind of as a center iceman, to be that steady presence, kind of create that consistency for our line. And, if you continue to play the same way, it makes it easier for the guys coming in on your line to know what to expect, to know where you're going to be. And that's what I try and be, is reliable, a guy that the guys that are on my wings, they know where I'm going to be. They know what I'm going to do. It makes their reads easier. It makes them coming onto the line easier. And, I think that's important, that you can be able to play with other guys, and, it gives us some flexibility in the lineup, and it just makes it easier, for Paul to run the bench.
And final question, go back to Paul Friesen. Go ahead, Paul.
Adam, a couple more games were postponed by the league today. How much does that news resonate with you guys, and how concerning is it, even if it is happening not in your Canadian division?
Well, I think we're certainly aware of it, and we certainly know the risks and the protocols that have been put into place with the potential for exposures, the potential for guys getting sick. And I think the NHL is doing a good job, and kind of with the abundance of caution, postponing some of these games and trying to give every team an even playing field in an unprecedented year. I think it's something that you're aware of, but not something necessarily we're worrying about. I think knowing what we do and how we take care of ourselves at the rink, knowing the protocols that we follow, I think that's more at the forefront of our minds, is how, as the Winnipeg Jets, we're going to approach this situation, how we can take care of ourselves away from the rink, how we can take care of ourselves at the rink to minimize the risk and give ourselves the best chance of hopefully being able to go through this season with as minimally impacted by some COVID losses or sickness that some other teams have experienced so far.